everybody, just thought I would start showing you guys some of the stuff that I use to do my live streaming. This is a new product here, the Predator 350. It actually is a inverter that give you 110, 120 power, AC, and it'll also do DC power and USB and USB-C power. Yeah, just wanted to show you guys new product Harbor Freight has came out with that I'm going to try to start using in my video production with the Show Me Dirt. Just open it. So what the plan is for this is to, instead of having to carry my Wi-Fi or cellular all around with me, this will give it power. So just a few things that it comes with. Comes with a car charger, plug it into a cigarette lighter, or you can plug it into anything that's 12 volts. Hooks up to the back of the unit. Of course, you got your 110, charge it from 110. And you also have your solar connectors. This will let you hook it up to a solar panel, which I am going to try to use. I do have some solar panels. Figured, you know, while I'm at the racetrack or whatever venue you would be at, I'm going to throw a solar panel in the back of my truck, get it power so that it doesn't run out of juice if I do need that. Again, let's get her unpacked here. Packed in here pretty good. Of course, we got the user's manual. Set that over here to the side. Pull the unit out of the box here. That out of the way there. Of course, as you can see, we'll start here from the back. These are your inputs for your cigarette lighter adapter. Of course, would plug in here. It'll take up to 12 to 30 volts, 120 watts maximum coming into that. This I'll probably plan on using some. And of course, we have our power plug for 110 also coming in there. This is also where your solar panel would hook. Hooks into the back of the unit. Of course, hooks up to solar panels. Again, you don't want that to be over 120 watts maximum coming into it. We'll flop her around here. Of course, as it says on here, fully charged before your first use so you don't void the warranty. Then charge it every 3 months. 30 months, ooh, that'd be a while. But kind of show you what we have here on the front. You have your DC 12 volts, 10 amps coming into it here. Your USBs down here. You got power switches for each one of these. The USB we have puts out 100 watts in USB-C, and down here USB-A 12 watts. It'll do 2 of those at 12 watts apiece. And we also have our 110 pure sine wave, so good for electronics and all of that. The neutral is floating, 350 watts running, 700 watts starting power, so something that may have to kick on or whatever, and 294 watt hours on there. So let's get this thing plugged in here, see what all it will what it'll do here. Gonna use my cord over here, flip her around to the back, give her a good firm plug in there. As you guys can see here, all lighting up. So it's saying the battery right now is 41% charged, It is going into the unit, so into the battery. 79 watts going into it. Time to fully charge is 2 hours and 29 minutes. So we'll look at that here in a minute. See if it updates itself. Let's see what we got here. So right now it's 2:47. We'll check back on it here. We'll go 2:47, somewhere in there. See how long it says it's still got on it. So we'll be back with it here in a minute. Of course, like I said, want to make sure we get this fully charged up before we do anything, as we don't want to void that warranty. We'll catch you guys back here in just a few. Hey everybody, so we're back. We're right at the hour mark, which the time is right on at how long it's going to take to be fully charged. But we're going to set a timer for another hour. We'll come back to you and see what we have at that time. And in the meantime, I have broke out one of my old, I don't know how good you guys can see that, but it's one of my old solar panels that I've had for a few years now. It's rated at 100 watts at, I think it was 6 amps, which is what the book said it would take. Would be 100. Let me look here real quick. Said it would take 6 amps at 120 watts. That's a 100-watt solar panel at 6 amps. So once we get it all hooked up, everything working, sun comes out, we will hook it up and try that out after we use it for a bit. But I'm in the process of getting that all wired up to work. And yeah, let's just see how long where we're at in another hour and see how it's doing. We'll talk to you guys here in a few. Hey everybody, so we are back out here. It's been right at another hour. I actually turned the camera, or unplugged the unit and plugged it back in, and the times on it did change by a few minutes. Of course, last time we were out here, it was right around 70%, I believe it was. Had like an hour and 17 minutes left. Of course, we're now up to our 2-minute mark from our original 2 hours and 28 minutes. So we are now down to 93% charged. We're still at the 81 watts going into the unit. Showing we have about 15 minutes left. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but down here it does show that the fan is on inside of it. You can feel a little bit of airflow moving in and out. Not a whole lot, just enough you can barely hear it, making a little bit of noise there from the fan. But yeah, 15 minutes left to finish charging up. And then we'll start playing around with it. I am going to make a video of a Unify switch that I've purchased with a Ethernet, power over Ethernet here that I've got for it. We're going to see how much power it takes to run it. And yeah, so stay tuned. Again, guys, right at about 15 minutes or so, we'll jump back into it, see what it's going to take to power it, and we'll go from there. See you guys here in a few. Okay, guys, so it is at the 100%. Just got done. We are showing it's still got about a minute to be fully charged, so we'll let that sit there for a few more minutes before we actually do anything with it there. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. It is showing that the watts are fluctuating right around the 50, 53, 56 watts that's going into it. The fan is still on, so I'm assuming it's still giving it that last little bit of charging. And it looks like we just got finished there. So it looks like everything should be charged up, ready to go. Now let's go ahead and unplug it from the back here so that we have no powers going into it, showing us we're 100% charged here. Of course, that'll turn it off, turn it back on. Okay guys, so one of the things that I will probably be using on this some, so I go to a racetrack and they don't have power, what have you, but I still want to get and use my big camera that I'm using now. I have a mixer and everything inside of my little to-go case here. Of course, all I have to do is plug it in over here, and then up here on my top one, I'll just grab me a plug up here, plug it in there. Again guys, the only thing that I have powering through this as of right now is just my mixer. Again, this is just my go case so that I can hook it up to my camera. Of course, I've got camera power in here too, so I can plug in my camera if I need extra power. But once I plug this in, should be able to come up here, 3 seconds, turns it on, come down here, hit my AC power, turn my AC, well, gotta wait for it to start up here. Come down here, hit my AC power button. Try that again. 1, 2, 3. Should be coming on. Now hit my AC power button. There we go. Again, knew it doing this, so now then, as you can see, we're using 24 watts to power my mixer here, saying it's going to last me for 14 hours, 13 hours and 59 minutes right now. So I could basically go out if I didn't have any kind of power, this would power my camera and the audio mixer. So let's just give it a try here. Just so that I know, we're going to go ahead and hook up the camera. Right now I'm just using it off of battery power. So I'm going to hook in my camera power and just see what we go to. Again, this would be a setup that I would use if I was filming a race but didn't have all of the other equipment with me to be able to put, you know, titles and all that, or if I was out in the middle of nowhere and didn't have power. There we go. So let's see what we jump up to now. So now I am literally running off of the power from the Predator 350. My camera that you guys are watching on, and my mixer. So I would be able to video for 10.5 hours using that setup without needing any kind of power from anything else, which to me is pretty good. That ought to get me through a whole day's racing. Like I said, I am going to hook a solar panel up to it. If the sun's out good that day, if it's a day race, should give me a lot more time. So okay, there's the 35 watts, 10 hours and 34 minutes. I'm going to go ahead. Right now we're using 35 to 34 watts. So unplug that. We jump back down to 23, so about 10 watts for the camera. So I'm going to go ahead, unplug this, and unplug my mixer. Get these all tucked away here. Put back in my case. And then we are going to try. Now this is the main reason why I got it. Is because, again, I just got this unified access point, and it runs off of PoE, which is power over Ethernet. And to power this, you've got to power it with 110. I'm going to see if I can find a 12 volt one, because if I don't have to run the inverter, I would save a lot more power, I believe, off of not running the inverter and just pulling it off of, say, 12 volts. So we're just going to plug it in here to see what kind of power we're using on it. So right now it's showing it's using 5 watts, which to me is outstanding. This will go up to 15 watts, the PoE injector wheel. So 4 to 5 watts, that will run it for a long time. Again, this is the setup so that I can set all this in my car and not have to carry my big setup for internet into, say, a venue or something. This will actually beam. I'll hook this side of my Ethernet cable up to my case, and then this will give me internet into the venue without having to pack everything in there. Again, we're only using 8 watts, 7 watts, so it's probably going ahead and doing its boot up and all. Let me go grab my case that has my internet on it. We'll plug it in here, and we'll get an idea of what the total setup is going to, how much it's going to run. So give me a few seconds, I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back here. Got my, in here, this is my wireless internet cellular case. Of course, we have a cellular, bigger antenna here, Wi-Fi antenna, just so I can get better cell service out from everywhere. I'm using a PepWave router in here to get my internet. This case is kind of like my other case, has power ports and all over here. So let's hook both of these up. See what kind of power draw we're going to have from both of these. Router's booting up. I'm going to go ahead, the Ethernet port here, I'm going to plug it in. We'll give it a few seconds here to boot up. Again, the only thing we're using in here is the PepWave router and the unified access point there. It's called the Swiss Army knife. So with this all plugged in, we're using about 13 watts of power, 13 watts of power with both of them, 21 hours. That will give me more than enough to video an event. If I want to stream it live, all this stuff can set in the car to where I don't have to pack it into the venue. Now we're down to 18 hours, 14 watts. And if I had a solar panel hooked up to it, we would be actually gaining power while it's sitting out there during the daytime. So yeah, I think this setup is going to be pretty good for what I'm going to be using it for. I'm going to let it run out here for a while, just to run some of the juice out of it. So tomorrow, once the sun comes out, I'm going to get some video of using the solar panel from outside to charge it up. And once we get that, so everybody, I just wanted to show you with it all. This is running off of the 110. Both of these are running off the 110 circuit. Right now we're pulling 14 watts, 12, 14, 13. It jumps to 15 every once in a while. But I want to show you, on my PepWave, I have it to where I can plug it in with a 12 volt cigarette lighter. Right now we're at 19, 25, on the hours. So I'm going to go ahead, unplug the PepWave. So my internet box is now unplugged. The only thing that is running on this right now is the PoE switch. So our PoE switch for our internet to beam it farther away, this device right here is running 6 to 7 watts is what this is running. So with my PepWave, we're not running it off of 110, we're going to run it off of 12 volts. So I'm going to turn on my 12 volt power, shows the 12 volt power is on. I'm going to plug it in. So right now it is starting to boot up off of the 12 volts. So right now we're running at 9 watts. So going from 13 to 15 to 9, we've seen it jump to 10, 11 there for a few seconds, 8, 9. That's it starting up. So we're only, by us running this off of 12 volts, we're only using a watt or two of power, which is a lot better than running it off of 110. And we're back up to 20 hours of use on here. So 12 volts without having to use the inverter is way, way better than running it to where that inverter inside there has got to run. So we're going to do a little more testing. Again, I'm going to look for a PoE switch that will run off of 12 volts. If you guys got any that you like, drop a link in the comment. Tell me what you guys are using if you guys are running those with 12 volt. I'm sure there is some. I just don't know right off the top of my head here. Okay, everybody. We're going to try out the solar panel here. So we got her a little bit dirty. We're going to hook up the provided cord along with the little extension that I put on it. Get these put together here. And I just put a little extension on here to get it a little farther away. Just tilted up here. May not be optimal. So it's looking like I'm showing we've got an hour and 33 minutes left with 8%. So we're going to plug this into the back. Now we're showing we're inputting 73 watts, 74, and it's going to take 4 hours and 52 minutes. So we're drawing 9 watts and we're putting in 74 watts. So we're going to start gaining before long on this setup. So that is looking good. I'm going to also try one other to see if it helps the battery. Going to grab drop cord back here. I didn't see anywhere in the instructions that said you couldn't do it, so we're going to try it. We're going to also plug in the power. So right now it's showing that we're pulling in from solar. We're going to plug in the power and see if we can double charge. So we're at 73. Yeah, so it is letting us double charge it. So now we're up to 151 watts going in, and we're at 2 minutes, or 2 hours and 5 minutes. So yeah, so it looks like it will let you double charge it. So we're charging from the solar and we're charging from the power. So it is looking like you can double charge it. Again, we're going, solar's going in, and the orange power cord, when I hooked it up, it is also going in. So like I said, we're doing over 150 watts going in, 9 watts going out. So you could be out, if it's daytime, wherever I'm at, and I hook the solar panel up to it, it will double charge it. So this thing would run indefinitely as a solar inverter. So far, giving this thing ton of pluses up. I hope you guys liked the video. We're going to go ahead and let it sit here, recharge up, and show you guys, let you know how long it did take to charge up. But yeah, so far, as long as our sun stays out, as you can tell, the solar panel's not optimized. It's 10 o'clock in the morning right now. So I give this thing 5 stars with having it, you know, right out of days. All I've had it right now, but first impression of it is outstanding.